Bitter criticism. Um, I bet. I bet nothing is happening in Israel. But let's start with Russia. I guess Russia is there's more action in Russia. I guess, in my opinion. There's a lot of videos showing a video 4 days ago. There's a 4 days ago video with the headline, "Why Iran is taking too long to attack Israel." So I guess 4 days ago is too much time. Understand? So there's a polemic. There's people are waiting for this attack 4 days ago. So it's delayed 4 days and 2 weeks, So it's not gonna happen, I guess. Forget about it. Forget about Israel. Israel just won. So we have a lot of news from Russia Today, like this one. Russia Today. Russia Today, August 13. Over 100 terror attacks foiled in 2024, Moscow. More than 1,000 people engaged in subversive activities have been detained, security officials have said. Russian law enforcement agencies have thwarted over 100 terrorist attacks that were masterminded by Kiev or its Western backers in 2024. The National Anti-Terrorism Committee, NAC, has said 100 terrorist attacks. Yeah, but they may call this terrorism, but it's very close to war. Just war, maybe war in Russian territory. I thought I saw a bird over the Elanus leucurus. Not sure. No, it could be, but it could be a seagull too. But here we go. In a statement on Tuesday. What the hell? These dogs are. In a statement on Tuesday, the NAC said the authorities are doing their best to prevent terrorist attacks in Russia, especially after Ukraine launched its large-scale cross-border offensive in Kursk region. As the fighting on the borders continues, Ukraine, backed by Western intelligence services, has unleashed an unprecedented anti-Russian information campaign to foment division and social strife in the country, the agency said, adding that foreign special services have stepped up efforts to recruit Russian citizens, especially young people, to take part in terrorist activities. A total of 110 terrorist attacks involving Russian citizens recruited by the enemy, quote, have been prevented, the NAC said, adding that more than 1,050 people have been detained for preparing and committing terrorist crimes or justifying financing or propagating terrorism. The agency warned that the threat posed by international terrorist organizations, many of which profess radical versions of Islam, continues to loom over Russia, noting that law enforcement agencies have disrupted the activities of as many as 45 clandestine terrorist cells this year alone. The NAC statement comes after Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova claimed last week that the Ukrainian government had essentially become a terrorist organization acting on behalf of Western nations as it conducted attacks on peaceful people in Kursk region. She also claimed that Kiev is spreading terrorism across the planet, referring to the move by Ukrainian officials to initially claim credit for helping Tuareg militants in Mali stage an ambush on Russian military contractors. Kiev's intelligence services later denied any involvement after facing backlash from Mali and neighboring Niger. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Monday that one of the goals of Kiev's attacks on Kursk region was to undermine the morale of the population, but that is failed to do so. On the contrary, he added, the attack has led to a surge in recruiting. Tommy! Tommy! So, there's another interesting news from Russia today. The replacement of Zelensky. Look, Zelensky's replacement, August 13, 2024. Home, Russia, Russia and former Soviet Union. Washington, U.S. lining up possible Zelensky replacement, Russian intel. Washington has identified Arsen Avakov as a viable successor because of his ties with both far-right groups and EU leaders, Moscow claims. The U.S. is planning to unleash a campaign to discredit Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky to pave the way for replacing him with a more pliable figure. Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service, SVR, has claimed. The agency believes former Interior Minister Arsen Avakov is being considered to take the helm of Ukraine. In a statement on Tuesday, the SVR claimed that the American elite is growing increasingly frustrated with Zelensky as lawmakers on both sides of the aisle start to doubt the targeted spending of billions of dollars in military aid to Kiev. Zelensky is taking crazy steps that threaten to trigger escalation far beyond Ukraine, officials said, adding that Kiev has moved to very feverish action as the Ukrainian leader struggles to maintain his grip on power after his presidential term official ended in May. The US is therefore looking at options for replacing him with a more manageable and less corrupt figure that will be amenable for most of the West, the agency said. Zelensky is corrupt. According to the SVR, Avakov, who took over as interior minister after the Western-backed coup in Kiev in 2014, and held the post until 2021, is one of the most suitable candidates being considered. The SVR claimed that the US believes that Avakov has several advantages over other candidates, including his close ties with Ukrainian far-right groups and his relationship with EU leaders. The agency added that the White House believes that such a change in leadership will allow the West to better prepare for the possible start of negotiations with Russia to resolve the conflict. Officials also noted that the question of Avakov taking the reins is being discussed with Ukrainian opposition figures including former President Pyotr Poroshenko, ex-Prime Minister Yulia Tymoshenko, as well as influential Prime Minister from Zelensky's own party. After taking over as Interior Minister, Avakov spearheaded a crackdown on forces protesting the Western-backed coup in Kiev. He also held his post during 2014 fire at the Trade Union House in Odessa, where 42 people died after being chased aside by a far-right mob. No comprehensive trials has been held in the 10 years since the tragedy. Kiev's inaction in this regard has been criticized by the UN. The former Interior Minister has also been a vocal supporter of the neo-Nazi Azov Battalion. Allegations have emerged that Avakov provided political support to the unit and helped secure the release from prison of its leader, Andrei Biletsky, who is widely regarded as a white supremacist. And well, there's another news from Russia today, from Belarus. Look. August 13, 2024. Home, Russia and former Soviet Union. Key ally sends troops to Russia. Belarus says rocket and air defense units will conduct exercises amid Ukraine's incursion into Kursk region. We have a photograph of a plane, an EL-76MD military transport plane. It's a pretty interesting one. It's like a Soviet plane. It has kind of windows. It has glasses in the floor. In the forefront. Belarus is sending rocket and artillery troops to Russia for military exercises, the defense ministry in Minsk announced on Tuesday. The drills will involve the use of multiple rocket launch systems at an unspecified military range in Russia, the short message said. On Monday, Minsk reported that it had also sent air defense forces for joint exercises with Russian troops. The Belarusian soldiers have been flown in on an IL-76 airlifter to Ashuluk range in Astrakhan region in southern Russia, according to the statements. The movement of troops comes amid a Ukrainian incursion into Russia's Kursk region, which began a week ago and indirectly involved Belarus when Kiev launched kamikaze drones through the country's airspace. Minsk is not directly involved in the Ukraine conflict, but its air defenses, which are integrated with Russia's, intercepted some drones and helped Russian forces target others, according to Belarusian officials. Quote, the downed drones appear to have been assembled by Ukraine, together with NATO engineers. Belarusian news agency Belta reported last week after the crash sites were investigated. Minsk has previously accused Kiev of staging provocations near its border amid the hostilities in Kursk region, which is around 180 kilometers from Belarus. Hey! Tommy! 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 Crazy dogs. You never know with these dogs. They listen. Maybe maybe they just are bored, and they invent a threat. They say, "Hey, let's go, let's go away," and as someone bark, saying, "Hey, this is our time to go away." Kiev has said its incursion into internationally recognized Russian territory is intended to pressure Moscow into accepting a just peace. The troops were told that they should seize as much Russian land as possible to later swap it for the other territories claimed by Kiev. According to a Ukrainian prisoner of war involved in the incursion, who was interviewed by Russia's Federal Security Service. On Monday, President Vladimir Putin ruled out talks with Kiev due to the conduct of the Ukrainian troops. He accused them to indiscriminately attacking Russian civilians in Kursk region. The Russian Defense Ministry estimated Russian losses in the offensive at 1,610 as of Monday. And there's more news from. It says August 12th, Ukraine taking heavy losses in Kursk. But I'm going to read this another one. There's a breaking news. Fire breaks out at nuclear plant after Ukrainian attack. Ukrainians are firing Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, ZNPP. So yeah, today is like a boring day in Russia today. A boring day in Russia today. So nothing is happening. I guess nothing is happening. For sure, nothing is happening in Israel. This is more interesting. Look, anything about the economy is more interesting because it's more, I guess, intellectualized. Look, August 13, Russia and India eyeing new mechanism to bypass dollar, media. Top bankers will discuss a rupee-ruble market at a meeting in Moscow, the Economic Times has reported. India and Russia are exploring the idea of a benchmark rupee-ruble exchange rate to start direct trade using the two currencies, the Economic Times, ET, has reported. Top regulators and bankers from both nations are seeking to overcome dollar trade barriers created by Western sanctions against Moscow, the outlet added. The issue will be discussed this week during a visit to Moscow by a deputy governor of the Reserve Bank of India, RBI, and senior officials from some of the country's state-owned banks, the ET reported on Tuesday, citing sources. India and Russia have significantly increased mutual trade in recent years, especially after Western countries imposed Ukraine-related sanctions on Moscow in 2022. The Asian country has emerged as the second largest buyer of Russian crude oil after China. According to India's Ministry of External Affairs, imports of Russian goods to India have surged by about 8,300%. Oh, I will repeat this number. According to India's Ministry of External Affairs, imports of Russian goods to India have surged by about 8,300% since 2021. 8,300. This is an unbelievable number, The trade just exploded. Since 2021, driven by strategic crude oil procurement. Meanwhile, Indian exports to Russia have grown by 59%. 8,300 from Russia to India. The RBA recently took feedback from local and Russian banks as well as financial institutions dealing with mutual trade, the ET wrote. Currently, banks that handle exports and import payments have to use the dollar exchange rate to cover national currencies, the outlet explained. However, with several leading Russian banks barred from the SWIFT cross-border messaging system. Oh, this is interesting. However, with several leading Russian banks barred from the SWIFT cross-border messaging system, the scope of a dollar-based currency transaction has been significantly reduced. Yeah, that was the dumbest move in recent history, because the West was dominated, the SWIFT system was dominated Russia and the whole world, and now Russia is doing well without the SWIFT system. Understand? And the future, in the foreseeable future, everybody will go away from the SWIFT system, I guess. I hope. Payments for purchases of oil and other heavy imports require the services of large Russian banks. In this context, the rupee ruble market rate and a payment messaging system was that could provide an alternative to SWIFT assumed significance. The ET quoted a banking industry official as saying, "The rupee ruble reference exchange rate could be set by the RBI and Bank of Russia and revised to keep in synchrony with the underlying market realities," a senior banker told the outlet. Banking officials will also discuss measures to allow a greater use of the rupee balance lying in special accounts that Russian banks have with their Indian counterparts. The ET added, the funds. I'm just learning this word. The funds have accumulated because rupee payments for Russian imports exceed Indian exports, heading the other way. According to Bloomberg, Russia has accumulated billions of dollars in rupees in Indian banks. Following Ukraine-related sanctions, Russia and its trade partners in Asia have started to use national currencies for transactions, such as the Chinese yuan and the United Arab Emirates dirham. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said in May that over 90% of bilateral trade settlements between Moscow and its largest partner, Beijing, were made in national currencies. Just the last one from Russia Today, August 12. Just a second. Just the last one from Russia Today. August 12. August 12. August 12, 2024, Home World News. Switzerland mulling secret agreements with NATO media. Experts commissioned by the Swiss president reportedly suggest that the country should revise its neutrality policy. We have a photograph, Switzerland's capital, Bern, on July 23, 2024. The Swiss government could revise its security policy by intensifying military cooperation with NATO, representing a significant adjustment to its long-standing policy of neutrality. The Blick news outlet reported on Sunday, citing a draft of a document it reviewed. According to Blick, on August 29, the Federal Department of Defense, led by Swiss President Viola Amherd, will present a report from a study commission which is intended to provide impulses for security policy in the coming years. One of the recommendations is to increase cooperation with NATO, which the Commission argues will strengthen Switzerland's defense capabilities. NATO will remain the security guarantor for Europe for the foreseeable future. It is the benchmark for modern Western armies and defines the standards for Western military technology, the report stated. Switzerland maintains permanent neutrality in accordance with its constitution. Its obligations include refraining from engaging in wars, prohibiting shipments of weapons to war zones from or through its territory, and providing mercenary troops to countries involved in armed conflicts, as well as ensuring its own defense. While the Commission did not recommend membership in the bloc, it suggested signing secret agreements to cover threats from long-range missiles, extensive cyber warfare against European states, or airspace violations. The report also says Switzerland should seriously prepare for collective defense, including taking part in NATO exercises. The Daily noted that this contradicts Swiss neutrality. The experts also call on Switzerland to revisit the Federal Act on War Materiel, which prohibits the direct delivery of Swiss tanks to Ukraine. The document noted that this policy causes confusion and frustration among the EU and NATO. In conclusion, the experts recommended that the policy of neutrality should be revised to allow the country to formulate its stance on possible conflicts, China, Taiwan, Russia, NATO, in a timely manner and anticipate possible demands. Blick noted that both the left and the Swiss People's Party are likely to object to the newly devised strategy and will do everything to prevent more NATO, more EU, and less neutrality. Swiss neutrality has been called into question by Russia. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has accused Bern of becoming openly hostile to Moscow, as it has supported Western sanctions on Russia and has frozen billions in Russian assets. According to a poll published in March, around 91% of the Swiss population say the country should remain neutral. In March 91. That's good, it's good from Switzerland. And it's bad from Sweden, So bad from Sweden and Finland. Terrible. So anyway, now let's see what's happening in Cgtn. So Ukraine is still there, Russia is still there. There's still war. There's still war in Kursk in Ukraine. what's happening in yeah Cgtn news are kind of institutional. They are kind of, but I like sometimes I like to know what the Chinese are doing for the future. Asia, Cgtn Asia, August 13, 2024. Wang Yi calls for coordinated development between China and ASEAN. Cgtn, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi on Monday called for collaborative efforts of China and the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN, to accelerate coordinated development and foster new quality productive forces across the region. Wang, also a member of the Political Bureau of the Communist Party of China, CPC Central Committee, made the remarks in a congratulatory letter to the ASEAN-China Week 2024. The opening ceremony of the event was held on Monday in Shaanxi City, North China's Shaanxi province. Since the establishment of the China-ASEAN Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, solid progress has been made in the construction of a China-ASEAN community with a shared future, said Wang. Remarkable results have also been achieved in the building of a peaceful, prosperous, beautiful, and friendly homeland. Wang said the partnership has brought the region's 2 billion people closer together, fostering mutual respect and understanding. He added, stressing the unlimited potential of China-ASEAN ties. Wang called on both sides to explore the continuous expansion of new areas of cooperation and seize the opportunity of the new round of technological and industrial revolution. The top Chinese diplomat also said that both China and ASEAN should leverage their complementary advantages, accelerate synergistic development, and work together to cultivate and strengthen the new quality productive forces in the region. One expressed optimism that the joint efforts will inject new impetus into their respective development and revitalization, add momentum to the regional stability and prosperity, and make new contributions to the building of a closer China-ASEAN community with a shared future. So we have another interesting news from Cgtn. Russia Today and Cgtn right to the end. China to create zero carbon villages for green and low carbon development. Cgtn. On Sunday, China's central authorities issued a guideline document on accelerating the comprehensive green transformation of development. This marks the first time that China has systematically planned a comprehensive green transformation at the national level. The guidelines have raised a raft of work tasks, such as optimizing the development and protection of territorial space, promoting the green and low carbon transition in the industrial structure and the energy sector, as well as promoting green transition in the transport sector and urban-rural development. We have a photograph. China's central authorities issued a guideline document on accelerating the comprehensive green transformation of development on August. On July 22, 2024, the first zero carbon village certificate in Hainan province and the second in China was awarded to Maona village in Wushishan city in southern China. This not only recognizes the achievements of Maona Village in the path of green development, but also sets a new benchmark for China's rural revitalization. The concept of a zero carbon village aims to promote rural green transformation and sustainable development by reducing greenhouse gas emissions and increasing carbon sinks, achieving a balance between carbon emissions and carbon absorption within the village. The goal is to reach a state where the per capita carbon dioxide emissions are zero, thereby minimizing negative environmental impacts. This concept emphasizes the adoption of low carbon and environmentally friendly measures in rural planning and living, including but not limited to the use of renewable energy, the promotion of green agriculture, and the advocacy of low carbon lifestyles, all to achieve the goals of sustainable rural development. We have another picture, a place for tourists to relax in Maona Village, Wushishan City, South China's Hainan Province. Oh, nice! Maona Village in Hainan Province. Hainan, I love Hainan. I want to live in Hainan. Maona Village, about 30 kilometers from Wushishan City, is a Li ethnic group village surrounded by lush mountains and rivers, rich in the Li ethnic culture. Relevant departments found that Maona Village is located in the core area of the Hainan Tropical Rainforest National Park, with 6,160.92 mu, about 410.93 hectares of forested land, giving it a natural advantage in carbon absorption. Additionally, the creation of a zero carbon village can enhance the promotion of a Maona Village, further driving the development of agricultural products such as tea and glutinous rice wine, promoting the integration of agriculture and tourism, attracting more visitors and creating more sources of income for the villagers. And we have another photograph, a villager harvesting large leaf tea from a tea garden, Maona Village, Wushishan City. They are great. They are like 10. They are like 10 people. 10. Maona Village is not the first to embrace the concept of a zero carbon village. Jiihua Village has also focused on developing the tea industry, including tea production and harvesting, and has launched the ecotourism initiatives to support the zero carbon concept. And that was the last photograph. Jiihua Village, located at the border between Nanjing and Anhui in East China, is China's first zero carbon village. The forest within Jiihua Village can generate approximately 2,600 tons CO2 or tons of carbon dioxide equivalent in carbon offsets, indicating that Jiihua Village possesses excellent ecological conditions. The term TCO2E is commonly used in carbon accounting and sustainability reporting to measure and compare the impact of various greenhouse gases by converting them into the equivalent amount of carbon dioxide based on their global warming potential. I didn't understand that by now. Under the strong advocacy of the village government, residents of the village have adopted cleaner living practices, such as using green and clean energy sources like solar power and natural gas. Many villagers have installed photovoltaic panels on their rooftops. The village boasts a 100% usage rate of renewable energy street lights and clean energy heating systems. And 90.38% of its public transportation is low carbon. As a result, the village has maintained zero overall greenhouse gas emissions. The photovoltaic panels not only provide electricity for the villagers, but also allow them to sell excess electricity, creating a mutually beneficial situation. Additionally, given the favorable ecological conditions, Jirhua village has also focused on developing the tea industry, including tea production and harvesting, and has launched ecotourism initiative to support the zero carbon concept. Yeah, so Hainan looks fine for me. Hainan looks perfect for me. Sounds great because of the tropical way of life. I mean, the tropical geography is not a way of life. Is the latitude, because of its tropical latitude. And as I'm talking to you, the Scott Ritter is alive in Dialogue Works. Look.
Oh, that's the secret photograph. And they pull it out and they explode it up and they take the little image out and they blow it up. And oh, there's all the information. Scott Ritter went again. Good luck, guys. Been reading too many spy novels. I mean, look.
Yes, Scott Ritter is alive in Dialogue Works, but I'm going to do what I always do, which is remember that Daniel Jadue is in prison. He is innocent, but Chilean oligarchy hates him or fear him because he is the only hope for Chilean people.
Llegó como 5 años, entonces que la inflación seguía tan alta y por lo tanto hay que aplaudirlo, pero hay que aplaudirlo en un contexto en donde veníamos con un atraso sideral y se trata de remontar. Lo relevante es entender que hoy día ese sueldo al que estamos llegando el 1 de julio no le alcanza a las familias más vulnerables ni siquiera para llegar a fin de mes sin tener que endeudarse y recurrir a pagar interés incluso para comer.
Desde su taller de bicicletas clandestino, cuando está jugando con su nueva gatita, que llegó a la casa del querido Ricardo. Ricardo nos va a poner una cortina de ¿cuánto? De 15 segundos y seguimos dialogando con pensamiento crítico, sin maquillaje, en la compañía de Daniel Jadue. Cuando a mí me dicen patrimonio, yo podría pensar cuál es mi patrimonio, cuánta plata tengo, qué propiedades tengo. Creo que el patrimonio en el Jadue es una visión. ¿Qué es el patrimonio?
El patrimonio son los valores que tiene una familia o una sociedad, ¿no?
Ya.
Y se dividen en patrimonio. Mira, estoy haciendo lo que hago siempre, César, que a ti no te gusta, pero
¿No?
voy a buscar la definición efectiva. ¿Qué cosa es el patrimonio? Conjunto de bienes, derechos y obligaciones que tiene una persona o empresa. Los bienes son los elementos materiales e inmateriales con que cuenta una sociedad, en este caso, por ejemplo, las viviendas, las cosas que son valiosas, ¿no? Los edificios, las plazas, los cerros, la naturaleza, el patrimonio natural, ¿no?
¿Y qué le da valor a las cosas? ¿Qué le da valor a las cosas que no sea un billete? Porque un billete tiene un valor ya establecido. Pero a lo que no sea dinero, ¿qué le da valor?
Un acuerdo social, César. Por ejemplo,
Ya.
todos tenemos clara conciencia de que el Cerro San Cristóbal es un valor, un patrimonio de toda la región metropolitana.
Yo creo que sí.
Es un acuerdo social, ¿no? Todos tenemos, por ejemplo, clara conciencia de que el Parque O'Higgins, ¿no? Es un patrimonio de toda la ciudad.
Well, Daniel Jadue there is talking about the patrimony. What is patrimony? Patrimony, I guess. Patrimony. Belongings. Well, and it's time for Tommy yoga. For Tommy's yoga. And Luna's yoga too. I don't know why, but my back is my back pain is increases. I don't know why. Maybe my mattress is super old. Maybe I will have to replace my mattress. Yeah, mattress problems. I wonder if in Hainan there's mattress problems. I don't think so. So yeah, Daniel Jadue is in prison. And well, as I always say, Chilean society is super... Chileans are slaves, you know. They are absolutely pragmatic. They are pragmatical slaves because they don't even do nothing good for themselves, you know. They just obey, and sometimes they destroyed everything. So just like barbarians, those are Chileans. And well, there's no collective society in Chile. There's no collective reliance, you know. It's just like the United States. You cannot rely on collective society, but maybe it's worse than the United States. Who knows?